Welcome, disc golf fans, to the Front Nine coverage of Round 1 of the 2021 OTB Open presented by Innova Champion Discs. I'm Brian Earhart, joined here yet again by Nate Perkins. We are in Northern California.
We're down in the valley, Brian, Stockton, historically one of the windiest cities in America. We're playing a brand new course here for this Elite Series event, the Swenson Park Disc Golf Course.
And this is played on a traditional golf course, but this layout is anything but that. It is very technical, very long. We do have an interesting card here, though. We have, like we've talked about earlier, 3 technical players: Gregg Barsby, Alex Russell, Austin Hoop. And then we have Eagle McMahon, kind of the special player on this card when it comes to golf courses. We move into hole number 1, very long 776-foot par 4. The name of the game on a lot of these long par 4s is huge roller or giant distant shot that they're asking the right-handed backhand player to throw.
California, the winner of the 2020 Veterans Park Open, Gregg Barsby.
And Barsby has been known to lay down some insane rollers in the past. So we'll see if he goes for a long sky roller on this one. Looks like he is.
He does. That's so special to control the angle of the roller that late in the flight like that.
And that's his specialty. That's something that he's very, very skilled at.
Las Vegas Challenge, Eagle McMahon.
And I would say he's one of the favorites to win this event. He has obviously some of the fastest arm speed in the entire world, and again, a course that has a lot of low ceilings and a lot of roller opportunities. He is incredible at that shot. And he is going for the big roller. There is some room off to the right.
Oh, it's tracking. Oh, wow. That was tracking right, but it looked like it was staying on that cut angle. It could have covered 600 feet.
Yeah, that, especially with the pace he hit that Guardian tree at, there was only 200 some feet left to the basket. And I would say Alex comes into this course potentially a little disadvantaged, being a phenomenal sidearm player. His backhand is very technical, but not as long as a lot of these big arms out here. Like to see how he attacks this course. Amazing putter.
So coming into this first round here, we were all expecting quite a bit of wind. We had heard a lot of the locals discussing how windy it can get out here, and there was a wind advisory on Friday.
Yeah.
This card is teeing off at 9:30 in the morning, and it's dead calm, Brian.
Yeah, it was one of those weather advisories where you prepared your whole morning for that. Austin also going with a roller. This tee shot just really begs for it. But there is OB to the right. That's got to sit down. Okay. He's going to have a long look to the basket, but he's safe.
And typically going into an Elite Series event, the players are aware of what the numbers are going to be. What a 10 down is going to do for you, what a 5 down or what an even is going to do for you relative to the field. But going into this event, there was a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, brand new course, brand new layout, very challenging. And there was a lot of talk throughout the week of, oh, this player shot 10 down in practice, this player shot 12 in practice. Very interesting to see what is going to be hot out here. And Alex Russell has thrown a pretty big sidearm. He's going to have a pretty easy up and down for a par at least.
Yeah, that was huge with that boss. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of that and a lot of this from these two players right here. And Hoop, Austin Hoop, is actually from just up the road, just north of Sacramento. This is definitely his hometown. He's been sponsored by OTB for quite some time now.
And Eagle As you can see, really not that much distance left to the basket. Spikes it just behind the bin.
Oh, and it rolls backwards?
With the backspin play, the new evolution is here. And Barsby's going to have a pretty easy up and down for the par. Big run from Austin. Wow.
That flag is not moving at all.
And the putting fest will begin for Eagle McMahon. Has been looking so confident from circle 2, just standing. This beautiful push spin putt that he has. Such a tough release point to figure out.
Yeah, I've been paying real close attention to try and pick up a little bit of that for my own game, watching the weight transfer from that left leg to that front leg. And when it's inside the circle, you know, he just cracks that back knee down just a little bit. And then when he starts to get a little bit further away, he nearly drops that back knee to the ground.
I have noticed that. And a birdie for Eagle and 3 pars. We move into number 2, 445 feet. They want you to throw this power distance driver turnover. There's an OB green off to the left if you don't get that. We've also seen some quick flip rollers as well.
And there's water only 20 feet behind the pin on this one.
And Eagle's trying to throw that turnover. Just doesn't quite get it over. And that's kind of the name of the game out here. We've noticed that the scoring is very challenging on this course. A lot of the birdies require fantastic shots. Not only safe play, but you must be aggressive and safe to even come close to getting a birdie in a lot of these holes. Gregg with that NorCal-style quick flip roller he learned at Condon Park.
Look at this. He laid that down so early,
That is
Brian.
a road runner from Gregg. And that's going to be safe. I mean, still edge of circle 2, it looks like, but that is such a cool skill that we don't get to see too often.
I mean, he hit the middle gap on that roller, too.
Yeah, that was definitely a road runner out of his hand. And here's Alex, sneaky power on his forehand. Guessing this is a boss.
A couple years ago, he added what we like to call the Sexton hop to his throw. Watch right here, he gives it a little hop. Just a little bit of extra momentum coming into the throw. Pretty conservative shot right there.
Yeah, a lot of players I was talking to are just trying to get a par in this hole, unless you are going to lay down what Austin or Gregg are doing. It's just a very touchy shot, air shot or roller. And that's just a little bit early, but again, safe for Austin. Should be a pretty easy up and down.
Yeah, these would normally be routine, but there's enough of a slope on this green, and the water is, again, only 20 feet behind, so important to come into this green on a good angle with good pace.
Eagle is conceding the par, as well as likely the rest of the card here. Austin's pretty aggressive. We might see him try to drop this in.
And this had to be playing as one of the tougher par 3s on the course, Brian.
Oh, Gregg almost drops circle 2 putt in for the birdie just after you say that. It did average a 3.13 on the day. So yes, there were a lot of people going OB on that green to the left side. That, again, that quick flip roller into the fence is a great safe option if you are just playing this hole for a par. And Gregg and Austin, both had looks for a birdie, long, but still safe. And the thing I appreciate about this design here on this course is just the fact that as much as it's a long 11,000 foot course, it really makes you throw a lot of different shots.
Hole 3, there's 2 gaps here. There's a low forehand on the left side, and then there is about a 12-foot gap for the backhand on the right side. It's a par 4. This first shot is just a setup shot short of the OB green. And like you said, this is not your typical golf course, Brian. It challenges all sorts of different shapes, and you don't really see too many gaps like this at a golf course.
That was a near misfire from Eagle.
Oh, and slow down.
Looks like he's safe. That should actually be a decent sidearm for him from there. There is another OB green right in front of the basket as well, so 2 committed shots are going to get you the birdie. This looks way more textbook from Gregg.
I'm going to get a 1 skip off this green here. Oh, and not even just short of it. That's in prime position right there.
And this is a great hole for Alex. A low ceiling, driver shot to the landing zone, and then a solid flat to fade forehand. And that is exactly what I thought.
And these oak trees that make the gap right here, they're all over the course. There's these majestic century oaks, and they're just beautiful.
And Austin going the flex off to the right side. That's going to sit down.
That's the first time I've seen that line.
Yeah, we saw the left forehand, the right backhand, and not the right forehand.
Yeah. And look at that lag right there, Brian. I love Hoop's mechanics.
His sidearm is really
yeah.
clean, and that's going to be 30 feet short for him for the birdie.
It reminds me a little bit about one of our favorite Finnish players, Jesse Nieminen. Just that lag, leaving the disc behind.
Come on.
Come on. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Great shot there for Alex. We actually have a treat of a card when it comes to forehands today. I would say Barsby and Eagle, 2 of the best to potentially have ever done it with the sidearm, and then we have 2 players that have, definitely been proving themselves in the past few years that this is a tool that is not going away in the near future. Oh. Eagle almost sticking it on that sloped green, but he's going to have a little work to do for birdie.
Hoop forced to go to a straddle here on this hillside.
Low left. It's definitely tough to run that with full force with the drop off behind it. Low for Gregg. That came out really nose down out of his hand. Oh.
Sometimes it can be tough to putt right after you see a couple misses like that. And Alex also just low on that one.
Eagle zoned in after watching 3 misses. It definitely does take a toll, and it tests your mental fortitude when you do see someone struggling on the putting green, because that is not a putt that Alex throws that often. He's one of the best putters that I've ever played with, and we've seen countless times. If you've ever watched the video where he wins the Majestic, I forget, maybe 2017 or 18, Alex hits putts from ridiculous distances, so it's interesting to see that type of miss from him, just completely wobbly. Hole number 4 is a par 5, 1,035 feet. There's this beautiful slope the entire way, long, low ceiling corridor in the beginning, opens up a little bit to this basket. There is a Mando way out to the left, about 500 feet. So it prevents the player from cheating the hole and throwing a hyzer out to the fairway on the left side. So there is a little integrity you have to throw your shot with.
And that's burned over, and it's still 440?
Yeah, 440 dead straight, and that's going to leave him with a wide open second shot. That being center cut is so important on this hole to prevent you from having to do anything silly.
There's so many options on this one. Like you said, there's this berm on the right side, and it allows the roller to stay away from the out of bounds. And look at this air shot right here. And that right there will give you a good idea. The comparison, Eagle burned his shot over. Gregg got nearly a full flight,
yeah,
and Eagle's further.
Alex throwing actually a pretty solid shot off to the left side. He just has to beat that Mando tree off to the left. Still a chance for birdie from there. And here's Austin breaking out. Maybe sidearm again.
Slight handy out of the hand here.
And he's going with that wide flex. I had been seeing Connor O'Reilly throughout the week throw that exact same forehand. Germ taking that line, I believe. He's in a great spot.
Great angle here. It's going to curl.
And that whole left side is safe. So that's actually a really great play for him.
It's all about just covering ground, isn't
it,
on that second one?
Exactly. And Alex laying down a roller to the left side as well. That's got to stand up. Come on.
That had some pace on it. I mean,
Yeah.
He's way out there, but as you said, it's all safe.
And Barsby throwing a near identical second shot. Look at this. Little bit of hyzer, stands up to flat, drifts a little bit before fading back. That is a masterful line from Gregg.
You know, even after being a fan of Eagle and watching him for all these years, he still kind of tricks me up when he comes into the shot with so little speed, you know?
Yeah.
He's like just walking into his throw these days.
He's gotten really good at kind of using his entire body as a lever, and I think that's why he's able to generate the release speed that he is. And Austin puts himself to a great spot after a really technical cut roller off the second shot.
Perfection right there. We got 4 shots within 20 feet, Brian. All for birdie. All kind of in their own way. Hoop and Alex kind of played it similar.
Yeah, Gregg definitely played the hole as textbook as you could play it. 2 beautiful fairway shots, a chip forehand, and he's now inside circle one. Eagle kind of turfed his first 2 shots.
And he had the shortest approach. I mean,
welcome to the future.
Sometimes it can be good to have, such different styles on the card to kind of let us and the viewers in on a little bit of what's going on out of the hand.
Alex also carding the birdie. The course demands a lot from you, but there is a lot of room to work with. So I feel like I'm kind of at the preserve in a way. It's kind of like a playground in a lot of these holes.
A lot of creativity.
Yes. Whew, weak side for Gregg. Squeaks it in for the birdie.
It felt a little tentative. You know
Yes.
it? Coming off a miss in the previous hole.
Hello Leopard 3 is stable. It's want to go straight all day long. That's why I love it. It feels good in my hand. It's just very comfortable to grip. Just throw, it's gonna fly straight for you. And I love the plastic. It is beautiful. Look at this color. When you have a pretty dish like this, you just want a birdie, right?
Hole 5, par 3, 454. One of the most difficult holes to birdie out here at Swenson. You have a gap off the tee here. Brian, that's an MD3 that he's lining up on a roller.
Huh. Okay. That is just outside circle one with a mid-range roller.
What?
Xbox achievement unlocked.
Yeah. Yes. And again, another, just a little bit too much. If you would have got that down a little bit earlier. The roller is tricky because you have this gap off the tee. You kind of have this low-hanging willow on the left side that Alex went just underneath, so you have to lay it down in between that gap right there.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have a lot of late trees to deal with that are at 90 to 100 feet from the pin. Just such a hard green to access.
Yeah, they definitely wanted the players to throw like that high, challenge the upper half of this gap with a hard anhyzer, similar to hole number 2, but it's just so challenging, and I think the roller is just easier to kind of pull the slot machine lever and hope that it gets through these trees. But it makes me wonder, maybe that's why Eagle chose the mid-range to maybe control the curl of his roller that he threw, because these drivers are taking these really long curls at the end.
Yeah, it's either cutting too much or curling too much at the end.
Interesting. I'm gonna
I've
have to
never
test that
seen
now.
it.
Austin's gonna get up and down for his par. Wow. Oh my.
What?
Please rewind that. Look at this jumper. This is outside circle 2, Nate.
Look, over a branch. Gregg Barsby.
Giving me a near heart attack on that. Oh my gosh, what a fantastic jumper, making up for the past couple tentative putts from him. That was incredible to watch.
There's a reason why he's won the throw-in title the last couple of seasons on the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Ooh, just missed from Eagle.
And there it is again. We got to see quite a bit of it at Jonesboro. The way that Eagle has slowed down the pace of his putts from circle 2. It's not going long anymore. He's just a little nose up, giving it a little bit more height right out of his hand. I mean, he missed that putt, and it was 4 feet from the pin.
Hole number 6 is a low ceiling par 3, 358. There is a high flick gap that is challenging to get A lot of players are going to go low and try to skip something off this golf fairway up to the basket. Very low ceiling. And this was what I expected from Gregg, but he just caught that thick grass.
Yep, you said it. It's thick right there. 20 feet further, he gets the short grass of that golf fairway and gets a little skip. Oh, and he knew right out of his hand, and he was going for that low gap.
And it's interesting because he does like to throw all of his flicks with hyzer angle, which is low to high release. And that's where you have someone like, you know, Hoop or Russell. It's a lot easier to throw these low ceiling shots because they're coming up to down on that mini flex line.
That's a really good point. I'm a little surprised to not see Eagle just once again take the cheat code and go over the top.
Yeah. Yeah, this is an Austin hoop hole if I've ever seen one.
No doubt. And he just skipped he hit the ground a little bit past Gregg's disc and with a little bit more hyzer to get that skip there.
Beautiful confidence on that touch shot.
Yeah, it's not that easy, especially with the slight tailwind that he had right there. That could fall out of the sky real quick.
Alex giving it a bid.
Oh, no.
Sits right next to the pin. That should be a par. And let's see if Gregg can drop another one. Little short. And that is a textbook birdie for Austin. That is just directly in his wheelhouse. Low flex sidearm with the driver.
One of the truer stagger spin putters right there.
Yes.
Shout out to Discmania. They support me incredibly. I don't know what I'd do without them. Grip equipment, great disc golf bags. Love representing them. Huck Lab, Whale Sex. So all those guys are awesome. And last shout out, shameless plug, go subscribe to Eagles Vlogs. We're doing some practice rounds, some more casual vlogs throughout the season, so you won't want to miss it.
All right, hole 7, par 4, 578. A couple gaps off the tee. There's a Mando early right, and then a second Mando late in the fairway, and then there's OB that wraps around the pin right here.
Yeah, this hole for a golf course par 4 opens up surprising creativity. Austin's going more traditional, sidearm through that middle gap. There's also a way outside roller on the very left side around everything. And then there's also this roller.
This is aggressive right here, Brian.
And that's the route that I had heard throughout the week players saying that they got within circle 2. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
Hits nothing.
That was
okay.
150 feet further than the landing zone that a lot of players are aiming for right there on that left side.
Alex's looks really good as well. Let's actually jump back. Yeah, let's jump back real quick. I want to see Eagle's sidearm. First off, look at this external rotation, how flexible he is. You'll see how engaged his elbow is, but just keeps himself in incredible condition. And just look at this. Spine is in a neutral position. You saw it last second. That little lag on that shot.
That disc is just way back in the hand, and you noticed he actually was pushing the disc back in his hand with his left hand. Ricky Wysocki is also another player who has done that in the past. He really gets that disc back, breaks the wrist. That creates that lag.
Austin going forehand.
Oh, and it does get through it, Austin.
That was not a gap that I expected him to take. Way more treacherous than that open right side. But again, you got to play to your strengths coming down these tough holes.
So this is actually the Foxton hole. If you haven't heard yet, Swenson Park has become pretty famous for the red foxes that we are seeing all over the course, and their active den is right here in the middle of hole 7.
And they were courteous enough to make the den casual relief to not disturb them. Gregg just staying safe, it looks like. And he's got another circle 2 look. Just left. He's had quite a few circle 2 looks this round. One of those frustrating starts where you can't quite put it into position. Austin gets another birdie. He moves to 3 under, playing very steady and again relying on his strength, which is his technical sidearm. You love to see it. Off the top for Gregg. You saw the little crosswind. He threw it just a bit too high and it lifted him straight into the top of the basket. That is a bogey after what was originally a really solid first couple of shots.
And that can't do good things for the confidence. He's already felt a little shaky around the green, and to 3-putt right there on one of the easier par 4s on the course.
And we're going to move into number 8, Nate. Super low ceiling, 459-foot par 3. They want you to throw distance driver here, no matter what. There's only a few people I could even think that wouldn't be able to throw this low flex shot. And Austin still tries going off to the left with the sidearm, way tighter off there. A lot of players are going right side. Okay, here we go again.
Here we go again.
MD3.
Oh, just let us see it.
I know. I agree with you. Sad to see that happen. And Alex throws exactly what the doctor ordered.
Oh, if that gets back on edge, that is an incredible shot right there from A. Russ.
Yeah, a little bit short. You saw he came a little low out of his hand, but yeah, he's in pretty solid position. This is one of the toughest birdies here.
Yeah, and that's the typical shape that we're looking for, though. Anheuser out of the hand. Oh, and Gregg laying
He's going
down
Roadrunner.
another.
And if it hits that hill on the left side, that is a flippy Roadrunner that he's throwing. That thing is curling up very fast. But easy 3 for him.
Hoop has quite a bit left to work with right here, and the green is very protected. Looks like he's going left side and low.
Really solid shot.
He is so technical. I mean, he probably hit that within a couple feet of what his mind's eye shot was.
And another solid approach from Eagle. 15-footer.
He was definitely trying to throw that one in.
Yeah, maybe dropping that one in.
This is a great air shot, especially for how low his release was.
Just left for Alex. Hoop saves the par after being in kind of a tough spot. And Eagle continues his clean scorecard. You know, it's funny. We talk about Barsby and his throw-ins and being so good at throw-ins. Him and Matt Bell seem to always be battling for that throw-in title. Hole number 9, 1,200 feet. This is a really interesting hole. The hole is so vast and so wide. There's so many different ways to take it. The way the drone is flying is where a lot of people are trying to go to this more open side, but you can go straight over this big green and play across this pond this way. And this looks like what Hoop is trying to do here. He's going left side.
And again, it's 1,200 feet.
Yeah, this is a long hole.
I mean, you need to cover ground on each shot. I imagine we're going to see him lay down a roller right here to try and bite off 500.
Oh, yeah. And that's curling a little quick, but he'll be... Looks like he may be obstructed, but I still think he has that wide open right side to play with.
For most players, if they're curling that quick and right, birdie is kind of out of the question.
Yeah.
But he could cover 550 in the air on this next shot, so...
Yeah. Just being on that right side makes it a lot easier. Alex puts himself to a pretty textbook spot. I would imagine Gregg is going roller as well. Oh, yeah. This looks good. Ooh.
Also,
Curling up a little quick as well.
Once again, a little quicker than he would have liked.
Still pretty solid.
So this is where you kind of have to start to make a decision on this second shot if you want to try and push that pond, cover ground, or just kind of lay it up for the par, you know?
You know very quickly whether or not you're playing for the birdie or the par here. And Barsby looks like he has put a fantastic move on this, but he still probably has 500 feet to the basket.
Yeah, if you're pin high with the pond, it's 475. Oh no, get over that. Wow. Did that just lift perfectly over that tiny little gazebo?
Mm-hmm. And he is right in front of that pond. Boom. That is still okay. He is pretty far up there.
Oh, and that's a great angle from Alex, getting a solid flight out of that. Yeah, this is over 500 feet to the pin.
It's a little high. Yeah, he's going to be just a bit short. He'll probably get up and down for the 5.
Yeah, if you're playing... Oh, he's going roller over the pond?
Yes.
That is awesome.
Keep cutting. It seems like this round we've seen sidearm flex or backhand roller from Austin exclusively. His game plan is very entertaining right now. And after 2 shots, this is Eagles. Third, inside circle 1, looking for birdie. Just low for Hoop. He'll tap in a par.
Something else. If he would have birdied from before the pond on his third,
That would have been special.
yeah, Gregg kind of shaking his head there. Hard to get it going when you get behind on any one of these holes.
That's a birdie for Eagle. He moves to 5 under par through 9.
That's an exceptional front 9.
Oh, yeah. That is phenomenal.
I mean, 2 of the holes, hole 2 and hole 5, 75% of the field Wasn't even considering birdie on.
Yeah. Yeah, and even this hole played a 5.17 in the calm conditions. It's just so long, and your tee shot has to be in a good spot to even come close to attacking this. You see a lot of pars on this. You see a lot of players know quickly what they need to play for.
This course is one of the most challenging courses I've ever competed on. It's been a ton of fun to compete on, and it looks great on the camera, Brian. This
Absolutely.
is just absolutely a pleasure. Watch this.
Eagle McMahon 5 down. Austin Hoop 2 strokes off him at 3 down. We got some players making some moves up this leaderboard. We have some familiar faces and some new names. Again, that is our front 9. We will catch you on the back 9 coverage. Thank you again for watching. Subscribe to Gatekeeper Media on YouTube. And congratulations to Gatekeeper for reaching 50,000 subscribers. You guys are incredible. We will catch you on the back 9. Again, I'm Brian Earhart. He is Nate Perkins. We're signing off.